Hello Team FD and welcome back to Team Talk, the show where we bring the Football Daily WhatsApp chat to life. Joining me from my left, it's VFN Hall of Famer, Jack Wilshere apologist,
old timer,
all-round shagger, it's Dave Jackson.
Hello, welcome to VFN.
When was the last time you were on a video?
Last time I was in a video would have been the Football Pyramid, probably a good 6-7 months ago.
How old are you now?
How
old are you now? Getting on.
34, I believe.
Why are you being so ageist already?
Yeah.
You're not young anymore, get over it anyway. And of course, James Wayne is joining us, one half of the Journeymen and all-round Manchester City aficionado. How are you?
Yeah, all right. We've got the dads on one side, so yeah.
The Dilfs.
The Dilfs. Yeah.
Get in the comment for Team Dilf. And we're also joined by the only man in Football Daily who's himself on the side of a mountain. It's Dougie Critchley.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd forgotten about the fact you guys knew that. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I thought episode 1 was fantastic. So very excited.
That legend, that myth will never die. And Zach Jellab rounding off the cast, the only man that gets you 10% off your shopping on this table. Zap 10?
Zap 10, yeah. If you'd like to get 10% off a Zap code, use that.
Yeah.
I'll be very greatly appreciated. What are we though? They're Dilfs. Well, Team
We'll be the
Dilf.
MILFs.
And that's a perfect opportunity to move on. Right, round 1 is, of course, the warm-up. So let's just warm that grey matter inside your skulls before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, which is, of course, the debate round with some quick-fire questions, some hot potato-esque questions, and basically, the last man standing gets the point.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, so it's categories.
Yeah.
So we'll be going from one person to the other. As soon as you stutter, make a false start, submit a wrong answer, you're out, you lose the chance to win said point, all right?
I like it.
We're going to start with you.
Okay, mate.
Okay, question 1. Players with 4 goals or more this season.
Mo Salah.
Correct.
Mane.
Yeah,
Antonio.
yeah.
Oh, come on.
I mean, we could have given him a little bit longer,
No.
Dave. But okay, he's out. Brutal. We are behind schedule, so let's just crack on. All right, next question then. Zach is out, misses a chance to get the point. Players with 3 or more assists this season, David. You can start again.
Smith Rowe.
No, he's not down there.
Done.
Oh, yeah.
You're out. Okay, that was an easy round, wasn't it? Yeah. That's what you get for being so cocky in the previous round. Right then, you two are competing for the point at the end of the table. Who are the 10 players averaging over 2.9 tackles per game in the Premier League this season? James?
Ruben Diaz.
No.
Well done,
There you go.
So hold on.
Do I win it if I get a right answer? Shall I say Ndidi?
Yes.
Thanks.
Indeed, you do with
Ndidi,
a point.
Well done.
Well done. Quickest round ever.
Ndidi and Antonio, and I get the point. Love it.
We're not messing around this week.
Yeah, Jesus.
Round 2 is, of course, the debate round. In this segment, I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions that requires you to rank players from 1 to 4 using Amazon's finest whiteboards. Let me just fetch them. Meant to do that before we started. Hello, Zach's crotch.
Haven't had that in a while.
Good. Right, I've handed out the boards then. And in this round, you only get 10 seconds to scribble down said order. So you've got to think nice and quickly. Your mission, very, very simple. You've got to convince everyone else around the table that your order is the best order. Okay. And I heard the comments last week. I went through them, some brilliant feedback in there. We have simplified the point system. So you get a point if you can convince the majority of the table that your order is the best order, so 2 out of the remaining 3. And I'm going to give points and take away points for good and bad arguments, respectively, all right? So it gives me a little bit more power. I'm on a trip this week, okay? So let's get stuck into our first question then. Rank how important these goalkeepers are to their respective teams, okay? So we've got Alisson, Edison, Mendy, and Martinez. You got 10 seconds, and then the floor is yours, okay?
This is
I
really
think I might be
difficult.
going a bit...
Right.
I could be easily swayed on this one.
3,
I think it's
I don't even
2,
believe my lineup.
1. A good start. Right, flip.
Sorry, I'm just writing.
Oh.
Mendy, Edison, Martinez, Alisson.
I think
Okay.
they're all different.
We've all gone different.
Start debating then, boys.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll take the floor right now. We saw what happened when Chelsea had a terrible goalkeeper in Kepa Arrizabalaga. They could barely get top 4. And the second Mendy came in, they will manage to be much better defensively, or at least in goal.
So your argument is that he's made the biggest difference to his side out of all these.
Yes, I think
all
right
these
now,
guys.
if you told me last season, out of all the signings Chelsea made, Mendy was the biggest one.
Okay, I have a counterpoint to that.
And
Mendy was your goalkeeper when Lampard was in charge.
Yes.
So it's your manager's come and done the business.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Mendy.
No, what do you mean?
Oh, I like it.
I would say
What do you mean?
your defence
Mendy was
is
your
strong enough.
goalkeeper when
Sure.
Frank Lampard was in charge. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes.
Yes.
And he was
So it's not that
great
Mendy's
under Frank
come in
Lampard.
and now you've gone from that. Sorry?
He was great under Frank Lampard as well.
But you're saying he's the reason why now Chelsea are European champions, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I'm saying he's played a massive part of it. Chelsea had an underperforming goalkeeper, majorly.
I think
Kepa
Dave's point is though
Arrizabalaga.
you were struggling under Lampard with Mendy in goal, and it seems like Tuchel was
Sure,
the
but
big
we were
reason
struggling
that you.
even worse with under Lampard with Kepa in goal.
I'd agree. I think Mendy's a good shout to be high up, but I wouldn't have him as high as Alisson or Martinez because I actually think Villa's defence, particularly this season, has been pretty atrocious, and I think they'd be in even more of the if they didn't have Martinez. As for Alisson, I know he had a stinker against West Ham at the weekend, but the amount of quality one-on-one saves he does with that high line in front of him, I feel like he makes a one-on-one save every single game. And Alisson is, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper in the world alongside Oblak. So I think he's got to be number one.
I just think like
No, but it's not who's the best goalkeeper.
It's not,
Yeah,
but
but
it's who's
who's
most
most
important to
important
their
to
team.
their team.
And their backup is either Adrian or Kelleher.
But they've played with Adrian before and been absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Not really. They got battered by Atletico Madrid in that game. They lost 7-2 to Aston Villa as well. Like, Adrian is hated by Liverpool fans now. I think Edison Bottom, personally, even though I think Edison's
Edison
outstanding
Bottom,
keeper.
but I think Edison plays a massive part in the way City play their football.
I agree, but he's not as crucial as the rest, given the amount of possession, given the amounts of shots he faces.
I think it's a style of play issue with us because you saw when they took out Joe Hart for Claudio Bravo, and it changed a little bit. We were still shocking. We need a player that really fits into our system, and any of these keepers, although they could be up to the best keeper in the world, they won't fit at City. So I do think he's
But
got
you've
to
only
be.
had him third. to be fair.
I know, but I think Mendy, as you were saying, has changed Chelsea.
completely.
Their defence is extremely good, but I think the changing keeper, he's been phenomenal. They've conceded the least goals. The expected goals is higher than what they should have conceded, and I think that's down to Mendy. Martinez, I just think Aston Villa are so bad that in terms of importance, he has to be top because these teams are still good. If their keepers had a wobble, they would still do well, but if you get a different keeper in,
I don't know, but I feel like with Chelsea, you saw them with a
yeah, but
keeper.
Aston Villa with a worse keeper. Imagine
No,
that.
I can. Martinez, I could happily move up.
So the reason I've got Mendy bottom, right, is because Mendy's a top goalkeeper, but that's all he is. He is not, the way that he is as a goalkeeper is not instrumental in the way that Chelsea play. So what I'm saying is if you could replace him with another goalkeeper, Chelsea's style of play wouldn't exactly change too much, right? Whereas Martinez needs to be high up because without him, Villa are absolutely screwed.
Dave Jackson with the late charge.
I would say that I've kind of got Alisson at number 2. Again, the reason being they were two players
what
away,
you-
and he is essentially one of the fundamental reasons why they are now one of the best teams in Europe. And obviously, Edison, he is like Pep's. Like he can play out, he can ping a ball 50 yards, and that's why I think without him, then City started play. It's a lot more slower. They've got to build a little bit more further backs. Whereas now Edison, bam, straight to one of their strikers or their wingers, and then they're.
But I think City could win I think City could
With
compete
Zach
for the
Steffen,
title
though.
with Zach Steffen, whereas I don't think Liverpool could with Adrian or Kelleher.
There seems to be like two schools of
But
thought
that's
here.
the same kind of thing I think with Chelsea. Chelsea have Kepa in goal, they don't compete for the
Yeah.
title. Like, I
For
think
sure.
like,
So what are you lot putting greater value on? Like the defence or the lack of ability in front of them?
Yeah.
That's Ala Martinez.
Yeah, that's my. When
I think
you
there's two levels
when
to
you
it, though.
when you take importance, for me, is when you take that person out, how much worse does it get?
Yeah.
But I think
And
the
for
difference is-
Martinez, it's catastrophic right now for us.
But then you've got Alisson Bottom.
Yeah, but I still think their defence is still,
Yeah.
they would still dominate games. They concede a lot of goals still, Liverpool, and they still win a lot of games just because they're scoring.
And you've
stupid
seen this as
amounts.
well. Martinez hasn't been as good this season as he was last year, and they're conceding a lot more.
Yeah.
I could actually put Martinez number 1, personally.
I think I'm willing to shift mine around, but mine goes quite dramatic. I think if I would move Edison and Alisson up 1, putting Mendy at bottom,
So I wouldn't put Mendy bottom, though.
because
I wouldn't put Mendy
is that
bottom.
yours? Is that no? Martinez is
Jackson's going to stay quiet and collect the point.
I would have
But then Edison being top's I think quite silly,
Martinez
so-
is top of mine. Edison
Yeah.
would go second. Alisson would go third, and Mendy would go fourth.
I'm happy to put Martinez number 1 for me. I would then...
This is tough, man.
Oh, God, I don't
Are we going to have to agree to disagree in this round because there's no theme emerging?
think it's
I'm
different.
happy with Zach to put Martinez top,
Which then I think
maybe
gives
was less
James
good
some
than
James
James.
Bond.
But what does that do to the rest of your list? Mendy second.
I'd have
Edison,
Alisson second,
so that
Mendy,
is-
then
So
Edison.
you would essentially
Alisson
be
second?
mine.
I would put Mendy second. I would put Mendy second.
So you would have that. Edison and
Yeah,
Alisson.
sure, but I could possibly swap.
I think Alisson Boston's
It's
ridiculous.
tough.
I think Alisson and Edison could maybe move around.
I don't know. It's a tough one because they've all got a reason to be there.
I think you as the ref have got to step in, mate.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give Jimbo the point.
What?
One too
fair
many
enough.
mentions of XG for this show, all right? We're banning stats on
good.
this show. It's just mindless
It's
chat, mate.
literally the only one I have. We
Yeah.
did a 10 recently with it.
I'm happy for James to take that point personally. I
Yeah, I
think he managed to.
But that was probably the
Martinez.
least divisive one that I've brought to the table,
Yeah.
and you could not agree on that whatsoever. So good to see, but this could be a long old show.
I'd like to see the comments of that because honestly, I think that's so difficult. There's such a small margin between each goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I'm actually also going to give Jackson a point for his observation on Mendy. I do think that he, more so than the others, is, well, a little bit more conventional than the others.
Thank you very much, Christopher.
You could bring in another great shot stopper at Chelsea and
Agree.
he have a
So you
similar
could do that
effect.
any
That's
club.
why I had him
Apart
low
from
down.
No, we wouldn't. That's
You put
the point.
you put Oblak at City, you put Oblak at Liverpool, you put Oblak at Villa, he'd be absolutely fine.
That's the point. Like their style of play is fundamental to the goalkeepers that they have. Whereas,
Not at all.
But whereas the City,
Villa.
I've started a new argument. I've done exactly the opposite of what I wanted to do.
Stopper. You put any good shots off
Yeah,
Liverpool's
Oblak
defence,
at
Liverpool's
Aston
goal,
Villa, he'd still
they'll
be more
absolutely
important than.
Alisson's a sweeper keeper. Edison's a distributor. Who is it? Martinez is an incredible shot stopper in the same vein as Mendy, I
And a
guess.
leader.
But I think he's more important to Aston Villa. I'm going to give Dave a point.
He's paid off the ref.
Right, okay. Question number 2. Rank these fullbacks from 1 to 4 based on overall ability. So a little bit more of a traditional one,
Fullback
right?
cheaters.
So
This is an argument. I think.
yeah. This is how much you rate them. Highly subjective, this one. We've got João Cancelo. We've got Trent, Reece James, and Kyle Walker.
Oh Jesus!
Again, this is rough.
I've changed one already.
Oh my God, this is tough.
The top two is very difficult.
See, my like number 1 is easy for me.
Dave, disappointed not to see Tomiyasu in here?
Yeah.
It'd be number 1, wouldn't it? No point doing it.
You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, flip.
Trent, James,
Yeah,
Cancelo.
yeah.
Look.
Oh, we have an instant agreement over here.
What's that, James Walker?
Oh, okay. Well, we've all got Trent top. I think that's fair enough.
I think that's
Overall
good.
ability.
I actually initially put Cancelo top, then I thought about it a bit harder, put Trent. Just because, like, he's the best right back in the world, and the other three are
Overall
ideally
ability,
right
Trent
backs.
top.
but I feel like the longevity as well. Like Trent's been doing it for so long now.
Yeah.
And I feel like because I was going to say,
you
Reece
can't,
James. I
you
think,
can't
with a
say
couple
longevity and have Walker last.
No, but overall ability, like I could put Trent at centre mid.
If
and
you
he'd be fine.
guys,
If
I think
Walker
we're
at
making a
centre mid,
mistake
shit.
here. Like
No, not over.
Cancelo's got to be second. He
Yeah,
can
but
play
if
on
we're
both
talking-
sides
Yeah.
and be one of the best in the league.
Reece James can play right
I
back.
don't need to say any more.
If
Reece James
we're
play
talking-
right back, left back, and centre mid.
When's Reece James played left back?
Yeah, but he could do. Absolutely
Well,
fine.
hypothetically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hold
you
on,
can
you
stick me at
think
left back.
Reece James is more like tactically versatile than Cancelo?
Yes.
That is phenomenal.
Borderline deducting a point.
Sorry. What do you mean?
No, I
He
think
played
the
centre
Duke's
mid.
point is really strong here.
He played central
Yeah, he can play
midfield for
left back,
half a
right back,
season.
you know, I think
He's
left
probably
back,
been
right wing.
he's probably been the best left back in the league this year.
He played.
I think
I-
the Dudes
see-
was actually
see, my-
strong here.
Go on, what's happening?
I think he's right in terms of Cancelo second, James third, and then obviously Walker. Nothing against Kyle Walker. I think he's been fantastic.
I wanna
but
put
he's
an
just-
argument.
But why? Because he can play the other flank when Reece James can
Nah.
play
But it's
central
like-
midfield.
He's not played central midfield in the Premier League. Don't
Yes, he
wheel
has
out
played-
this
he has-
Wigan
no,
rubbish.
he has-
You did not.
He
You
has
did not
played
watch him play
he
against
has played
play for
central mid-
Wigan.
He has played central midfield for Chelsea. He literally has done it several times.
When?
Did it against Bournemouth in his first season.
Yeah, against Bournemouth.
I just don't think.
What do you
But
mean? That's
Cancelo
Premier
kind of
League.
plays in midfield now. Like the argument that James is better than Cancelo because he plays in midfield is kind of reductive
Yeah,
when
we're talking about
Cancelo already
fullbacks
picks up midfield positions. Like Cancelo plays on both flanks.
This season, Reece James is.
I think Reece James
is
has
touching
been.
there.
I think
as
Reece
an
James has been phenomenal this year. His finishing's been outrageous. He's scored some great goals. He's really got so much better. But as an all-round player, I think you can only have Cancelo ahead of
I
him.
think the thing is that I think with your Chelsea hat on, all right. I think James has a lot more like room to grow. I think his levels is
Yeah, I
fine.
think
But
he's
at
gonna become the best.
current, you know, I think that's why Dukes potentially is right with putting Cancelo second, James third, and Kyle Walker.
We're putting a lot of emphasis on versatility, but everyone's gone for Trent at the top, right?
He's far like the easiest superior.
Maybe we're being a bit harsh on Walker because I think he's the best right-sided centre-back of all of these as well.
I know, but the thing is,
It's about being able to do it all,
he's
right?
been no, but what's
Overall
the wording of the question?
overall,
Ability.
Based on overall ability, yeah.
Because like Trent has got incredible going forward, but you know you can put questions on him going back. Walker, I think he is. If you're going just as a right back,
He's fine
the
going
most
forward,
well-rounded. I do think he's out. James is probably closest to him in terms of being all-round the best right back.
Yeah.
But Trent plays a different style, fits in a specific system. Walker would be able to play right back in any team.
I think
It's more
Trent
of a
would do
tradition.
very well at
I think
City.
Trent would be fine anyway.
At City, yes, but I mean, let's say we go to Chelsea, will he be able to play a very defensive system? Maybe not as a wing back, yes,
Wing back,
of course.
I think the reason why I put Trent number 1 is if someone said to you, here's a blank check, you're starting a brand new team, who do you want as your right back? You're going to go Trent. That's it.
But I don't think the argument needs to be like, we've all got Trent 1.
Yeah.
There's no argument
Yeah.
about Trent.
Yeah.
I
I
think
thought it was just interesting because I said overall ability, and it's
Overall
obviously a
ability,
well-trodden sort of like trope or narrative that Trent isn't the best defender. I would argue that maybe 2 of these 4 are better, 3 of these 4 are better in one-on-one situations in terms of defending.
He's not
But
very good in
he's
the
just
air
that
as well.
good. He's
What
that
he
good on the
brings
ball.
going- yeah, exactly.
That good going forward.
If it's overall
Unanimous
ability
number
as a
1.
footballer, I'd swap Cancelo and Walker then.
Are any of you close to agreeing?
I won't move Reece James from second.
I think Jacko wants to swap to me.
I think Dukes.
Cancelo, I just think Cancelo to second.
But then if I'm
ridiculous.
agreeing with
Cancelo
Zach, I get the
second.
points.
I think it's
so-
ridiculous. I think
I think I'd be unhappy with Walker being 3rd, but I think this is the closest that we're going to get.
Thanks, guys.
So James and Jacko are voting for Dukes as the order. All right, Dukes takes the point then. Let's move on. That was a hotly contested round. I like it, boys. Scribble your answers out. Even Reece James at second. Wow.
I think also why I was doing that is because I think Zach's on the brink at the moment. He's so angry.
Steps in
He's
front.
beloved
Don't put it
Chelsea,
away.
Yeah, he's had an awful
Mendy
day.
and
Yeah.
Reece James are not
Stinky
getting there.
day.
Zach didn't have a good start today. Treading dog poo. Almost made him hell. Forgot his tripod. Right. Question number 3. Rank
Question number
these.
3.
Shut up, yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Rank these managers from 1 to 4 based on their ability to fix Manchester United in their current state. All right.
Lovely.
This is big.
Little topical.
This is big.
Pep, Klopp, Tuchel, and Conte.
Okay, these are managers without their history. Like this is just them as their managerial ability. You pick them up and you put them in
Well,
Manchester
what makes
United
it a
now.
little bit more topical present day is which one do you think is best equipped at the moment from 1 to 4 to fix Manchester United
For
in their
this
current
season,
state?
or like-
Yeah, their
No,
current state.
no. But what I'm trying to ask
And
is this
beyond.
on their managerial ability and like the culture they would bring, or is it?
Everything, baby.
Everything.
It's not necessarily the easiest.
Spicy list.
Give me a sec. Okay. Oh my God, I really don't like. I'm gonna get bullied for this.
Right, 3, 2. Zach's eating his board. 1, go.
Oh.
Right, the floor's yours, boys.
Only James is different.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you got Tuchel second. Pep lost.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going with this, but
Not high-fiving
I
you though,
thought of if this is not just this season, then
I think Pep
No,
would have
just
to
to
buy a
see- with this
hell of a
squad,
lot of
yeah.
new players
Yeah.
to get this United squad.
And I
going.
also wonder whether.
Can you imagine Aaron Wan-Bissaka working under Pep?
I also wonder
He'll
whether
do
a lot of those
something
players
stupid.
would.
we had Delph at left back. and still
McTominay
won
and
the
Fred in
league.
midfield. Pep would throw up constantly for 90 minutes.
Nah, he'd
Yeah.
find some way to make
I
it
think
work.
Klopp is weirdly, Man United's squad isn't too dissimilar from when Klopp took over. Like there's a few missing pieces, but you could get Klopp's football isn't too dissimilar from where Ollie's was when it started. And I think we've all got Klopp. Well, 3 of us have got Klopp at the top. Tuchel, I think, could work with him. Conte, I think, would just blow up after a couple of years at Ed Woodward, and it could end quite disastrously.
I think the squad with Tuchel might be a bit of a problem.
Potentially.
Especially with how much he wants that squad to work and run.
But
And
he's-
that front line, if he's using Cristiano Ronaldo,
I
it's
just think
not
Tuchel's a bit more of a relaxed person than Conte, which is not saying Tuchel can get pretty frustrated as well.
Pep bottom out of all of them because I just think
Just because of the squad, I think he'd be very frustrated with the squad. I think it would take a few years, whereas I think Klopp would be able to work with these players
I
and
agree.
make them a more effective
Klopp's
team
fine, but
quicker.
I feel like Pep is such a good manager, and I agree. Like the squad isn't perfect for him, but he'd be able to use them and coach them in a way.
Yeah, we've
mentality
never
wise
had-
as well.
We've had players play out of position for how long?
Yeah.
We haven't had a striker for how long? Our left back situation's been a joke. So when it comes to getting a player to fill in a position, or Pep can do that.
Some of those players,
I
well,
do
Oliver,
every
right
individual-
now. I do
Jadon Sancho, like
Every
some of those
individual
guys.
player in your side is more suited to Pep's style of play.
Of course, but
Than
that's-
Man
that's-
United. I actually can't think of a single Man United player who's like a natural fit for Pep's style of play.
Sancho?
Even Bruno, like maybe Sancho, but
Pogba?
Bruno not necessarily.
it's-
Pogba
it's not-
doesn't- never really played that.
Varane?
Rashford would probably be right.
Fundamental problem with Man United at the moment is they have no identity. They have no culture, right? They've obviously lost Ferguson since then. They don't know what they're doing. So they need a manager who's going to come in and deliver a brand new identity that can not just work well now, but maybe for the next 5-10 years. And that is why I've put it in this order, because I think these are the managers that can come in and actually change the club. You know, so obviously Klopp can come in, and any player, for me, Klopp would be the one manager I want to play under. I'll go right, that I want him
Over
pumping
Pep.
his chest. Yes.
I feel like we're thinking too much about the future, though.
yeah.
I think it's literally just about this season.
Well,
No,
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 but
but
this
this-
season,
but-
then
no, no,
Conte
no,
should be the
but
top.
no,
But
but
yours is the same as Dougie.
No, I agree, I
but the
agree,
thing is,
but
the actual question was who's going to come and fix Man United? Not who's going to come in and get in the top 4. Who's going to come and fix Manchester United? And that's the
But this
fundamental-
season, it's like who's going to also getting the best results this season as well? And I agree. We've got the same list. I think it's the exact same.
There's nothing baked into the question about short-term or long-term success. Obviously, it's all subjective to you guys, so you've got to come to some sort of agreement, I guess, on how you loosely define success. Can I ask why Mr. Fix-It, Antonio Conte, is pretty low on everyone's list?
Because I think the others are better.
Yes, I agree, yeah.
Top 4. These right now are the best 4 managers in the world. And in terms of the only way I would change it is if you told me who is the best manager, Pep number 1, Klopp number 2, and then Tuchel, then Conte. But for Manchester United, this is the list on how.
So why have you gone
Klopp
Klopp top
then? Just kind of, I think I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I think not just from a point of view in terms of how he's going to do them in the future, but right now, mentality-wise, I think he'd be able to motivate them more in a way than the others.
This is why I think Conte should be a little bit higher, just for the fact that if you need a quick fix, Conte, out of these 4 is your man. If you want a man you can bring in, sort it out, and then bin off for another one of these managers, Conte's that guy.
But
That's
but Conte's not going to
fix
do
Manchester United.
He's not going to win them the league or anything.
He could do.
Probably not compared to the other squads.
I mean, he's a serial league winner.
Realistically,
He-
whereas
he-
others I think would win them a league possibly.
I think Jackson's saying that their problems are more endemic, like long-term,
Yeah.
and that's why you want a long-term
Yeah,
manager.
yeah,
That's
that's
quite
why
an
we want
interesting
a
line of
culture
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
so
not.
that's why I've got Pep
I
top,
also
because
just
if
think-
you, for a long
but do you
term,
not
if you
think-
want success, long term it's Pep. It's never.
But do you not
a
think
question.
Pep and that Man United board are
Yeah, but
never
this is-
going to get on?
There's no shadow of a doubt. If Man United got Pep, they would listen to him. You cannot get a manager like Pep in and not listen to him. You'd be taking the piss out yourself, really.
He's also, but because the whole Man City leadership group is so built towards Pep, and it's been for years, I think it would take. Pep would be
take
pulling
longer,
his
but it'd be
hair
better.
out at
It-
the Man
He hasn't got
United
any.
structure. Well, there we go.
Well, they've got a technical director, a sporting director now. They have modernised a little bit.
They have modernised a little bit, but most of them are businessmen. And Pep wants people that really understand football, really understand his way of playing.
Yeah.
I think Pep would get very frustrated very quickly.
I like
at Man
it.
United.
It's a good
Okay.
point.
Why have you got Tuchel bottom?
Just because I thought I kind of split my thinking. I thought who were the best managers top, and then out of these 2, who would fix them quicker.
But
And I
then
thought Conte, in the sense you can use and abuse, get rid of him. Where if
guy.
you're going to go for a long-term project, I'd want these 2 over Tuchel. But if I want a quick fix, I'd go Conte over Tuchel.
But Tuchel literally came in last season and fixed Chelsea.
But you want-
and
yeah,
won,
but you-
and
you-
won
you-
them the Champions League, fixed them in every department essentially as well.
Yeah, but your squad
and he's
was-
looking like he's going to be there for a
your
long
squad
time.
was, I would say, more together than Man United's now. It is, although they've got good players.
No,
it's
but
a
what?
mess.
But the point.
I know what you're saying. But
sorry. No, but the thing we're trying to say is Thomas Tuchel came into a situation at Chelsea.
A very dysfunctional situation
Yeah,
as well.
that was worse than what the current state of players anyway that Man United have on offer. So if you can go and do that, then there
spent
is
a lot that previous summer.
No, yeah.
Havertz,
They had an
Werner,
incredible
Ziyech,
squad.
they brought in
People
Thiago
were
Silva.
saying, me included, it's a bit of an awful take at the time. They had the best window of all time.
I'd actually say they have a better attack than we do.
No, but we're talking about full
But
squad.
because last season,
Full squad.
yeah, they have a much better attack than we do last season.
No. I'm saying
Cristiano
full, not
Ronaldo,
just attack,
Greenwood,
the full
Jadon
squad.
Sancho,
The full
Cavani.
squad,
Rashford, Cavani.
Midfield. Man United's
Yeah,
midfield is
okay,
dross.
midfield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
sure.
You can't say who's arguably one of the best.
No,
do you know what I mean?
get that.
There's more to work with at Chelsea then than there is at Man United now.
Let's just put Pep bottom and move on. Right?
No. Pep bottom's mental.
If you go for longevity, you go for these 2. Use and abuse, you go for Conte. So I thought Tuchel, out of all this, is the man left out.
You've remained pretty steadfast over there in that corner. I mean, Tuchel second is quite interesting on your list. Can we get some rationale?
I think Tuchel's a very good manager.
that?
I think he's gone into difficult scenarios before. I think he's managed big personalities before. Probably doesn't require as much investment as Antonio Conte, and he's probably a little bit less combustible. So I'd be very happy with Tuchel going in at Man United. That's my
Right.
thinking.
I do like Dougie's rationale. I'm going to give him the point. I'm also going to give it to Zach and Jackson for coming to some sort of agreement because that has been a rarity on this show so far, which is what we like to see. Okay, so scores on the doors. At the doors?
On the doors.
On the doors. Got it right first time. We should have a little faith right now on screen. Cheers, Danny Pape. Let's move on. Round 3 is Let's Argue, and this is where you look at the person opposite you on this table square in the eyes and write down while you're still looking at them, the worst football opinion they have held in your opinion. Okay? Each person will then have 30 seconds to defend themselves or defend their opinion, whatever is levelled at them. Whoever does this in the most convincing fashion will win a point. And if you're proper, I'll take a point away. All right, we're going to start off with this couple, okay? Closest to me. So after 3, I want you to turn your boards around to each other and read each respective hot take.
Okay.
All right, starting with Zach reading first. 3, 2, 1, flip.
Aston Villa will finish above Arsenal.
Clang. Clang.
Jack Wilshere will be England captain one day.
The classic.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go first, happily.
Both of you, keen as mustard. Go on then, Zach. 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, yes. I think it's still very early in the season. 10 games. I think you're going a bit too far if you're thinking it's an awful opinion. And they've just sacked their manager. A new change could bring a lot. I thought Aston Villa did really well in the summer. It's not easy to replace someone like Jack Grealish where everything goes through them, creativity and goal scoring wise. And I thought they spent really well. £100 million on Bailey, on Buendia and on Danny Ings. It's pretty good to spend your money. I thought Dean Smith may have been a bit unlucky and his defence has been shocking this season. So if they can get a manager in who can sort out the defence and Danny Ings and a few of the other players come good, I think there's still a possibility.
Lovely, you filled it, which is always an achievement.
His point they would finish above Arsenal.
Yeah.
Not that they're not going to have a good season.
No, but if that happens, then they could finish above Arsenal.
It was quite generic, but he did fill the 30 seconds, so he ticked one box. Do you still think Villa are going to finish above Arsenal?
I'll back it, why not?
Fighting
Got 40 quid in my line for it,
Just
mate.
pure belligerence.
Love it.
And I'm not going to concede the point.
And that is at the heart of our WhatsApp chat, isn't it? Not admitting when you're
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly.
All right,
No
Dave
surrender.
Jackson, you've got 30 seconds to defend your shoddy opinion.
Okay, let me take you back to February the 12th,
When I was a youngster.
2009 or something like that.
It's
Jack
massive,
Wilshere
yeah.
absolutely run the show against arguably one of
But
the
you didn't say
greatest.
this in 2009.
When
You
did I take
can't-
this for?
Retort.
What? Just chipping in. I'm going to take a point off him. Anyway, when I did say the statement, I said this when he was in the England squad. It was looking like it was the end of the Lampard and Gerrard era. He was starting for Arsenal at this time. He was starting for England. He was in England's World Cup squad in 2014, and that was when I made that statement. He was in there. He was bossing it for England. There was a game against Switzerland where he was brought on to save the game from England and actually sent England to the World Cup in 2014. And that was when I made that statement.
Lie. You said the statement in 2017
I was working for
in
FD.
VFA.
Lies and slander.
We were all working for FD when we said that.
Right, I'm going to do something unconventional now. I'm going to ask the rest of the table. Do you think that Jack would have been England captain had he not suffered, the horrible succession of injuries? And if you two say yes, Jackson can have the point. If you say no, Zach can have the point.
I think you can't defend that.
Right, James has answered.
I kind of agree. I don't know whether he's even captain material. Did he ever really captain Arsenal, let alone England?
Big time.
Okay.
There is a number of Carabao Cup games.
Zach is going to get the point. Yeah, I mean, being a pundit, 29.
How can he get the point?
Quite sad.
He hasn't defended that. So
But
no
that
one
could
should get a
still
point.
happen. That will
Yeah.
never happen.
Mason
That-
Mount,
very true.
Mason Mount will be a better player than Jack Wilshere ever could have been.
Real shit.
You're making up for
Take
it
that
now.
to you. Take that, mate.
Oh, flaming hot grill shit.
You lied. You didn't even get the point.
When you said 2014,
Yeah.
I ruined it for you. He was on you.
Right. Flip your boards on 3, 2, 1. Okay, James, what's your hot take?
I'd be amazed. What's the saying?
My writing's terrible.
Yeah.
I'd be amazed if we didn't sign Haaland this
Oh,
summer.
okay.
It's all but
Oh,
guaranteed.
yeah, you've missed out all the
There
important
was a bit of
stuff.
logic in
Yeah.
here, but I didn't have enough space.
Okay, I remember that tweet.
And mine is, after signing Partey, Willian, etc., Arsenal have 18 Champions League quality players. Bracket stinky.
That's what you.
That's what James has
Yeah,
written.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, James is defending his hot take first. 30 seconds on the clock. Let's go.
I believe there's a lot missing within this tweet that's quite important. I think
Didn't
it
have
was
time.
saying that his father played for Man City, he was a fan of the club, and if Borussia Dortmund didn't get Champions League or faltered in the league horrendously, then it's all but guaranteed. So I was saying, obviously, he's not going to sign for Man City, but the stars could align for Man City. And
Could
I think
align. I think it's all but guaranteed.
it's all but guaranteed with all of those conditions, and those conditions weren't met. So, the fact they didn't win, they are still in the Champions League, meant that we weren't actually going to sign them. This is all
I've got to
very
give James
hopeful.
credit. I was
Yeah.
scrolling through his Twitter for
He
hours
was trying to
yesterday.
do me dirty
Perfectly
there.
filled the 30 seconds as well.
It was
Heavily
difficult.
redacted by Dougie. That's what
Yeah.
we're going for.
It
with
was
the
tough out
counter
there.
argument,
Most
okay.
of
Typical
No, I like
journalist.
it.
That was a great
I like it.
defense.
Just take
Typical
what you need.
journalist.
If I went to court, you're my
Thing
lawyer.
is, though, I'm so glad because I was flicking through what he could have said for me, and I saw that. I was like, yeah, you might say that, so I'll remember this tweet.
Yeah.
Retweeted your own tweet.
Yeah. I do that a lot.
Right, Dukes, it's you, mate.
So this was after Arsenal had got off to, they'd won a couple of games at the start of last season, then gone on a really bad run, and everyone was saying, Arteta out, like they were saying the players aren't good enough for Arteta. And I was saying at that particular moment, actually, I think Arsenal have a lot better players than people are giving them credit for. And I still believe that, to be fair. I don't think Arsenal should have done as badly in the last 2-3 years as they have done with the squad available. I know they've strengthened well this summer, and I think they've made a big difference in that respect, bringing down the age of the squad as well. But you look at Saka, Smith Rowe, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Partey, Willian, who I didn't know who was going to be as terrible as he was in September when I tweeted this. I don't think it's as crazy. I think I went a bit high with 18, probably should have gone with 12. But there we have it. No regrets.
I do sympathise with the line that Arsenal are better than people, I think, maybe gave them credit for towards the end of last season. I think they overreacted to the bad start this season. But yeah, a huge statement, a lot of gravitas behind that.
It's the fact it was the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
They just beat Fulham 3-0.
Although hindsight would probably suggest that I wasn't too far off.
Wish we had sit down here because I've got the squad and I counted about maybe, as you said, about 12.
Yeah.
But 18 was a huge push.
I lost my head.
That was on the 6 players.
Half the squad, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give the point to James. Okay.
I think fair enough.
Okay, that is the end of the show then, which can only mean one thing. We need a winner. We need a loser to boot out of said chat. And I've had the scores from Danny. They're in my ear right now. And I can confirm Dougie Critchley has won the show.
A great battle, guys.
Well done.
A great
Well
battle.
done, fella.
However, slightly awkward that the rest of you have got 2 points. So you're going to have to vote someone off in the comments below.
Oh, lads, please. Go.
I'm not going to lie, just say Dave because he's the hardest to get hold of. So,
Unbelievable.
sorry,
To be
mate.
fair, Joe won the last one. He's not here.
Yeah, it's been great having you all on the show. Thank you very much for tuning into Team Talk at Home. We are planning to do these every international break at current, but you know, maybe become a little bit more frequent once we get inside the new studio.
10,000 likes every week.
I still don't think you're in shock.
10,000 likes every week. You get it every week.
One more time?
10,000 likes every week.
10,000.
This chair needs some oil. Anyway, thank you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and click on screen right now for some more great Football Daily content. Until next time, goodbye.